everyone, today we'll look at the paste options available and also a couple different ways to copy and paste layers. I have a cheesecake shot here that I did. The client was happy with the shot and then they decided that they wanted an extra piece of chocolate in the front. I've already used the lasso tool and made a selection, so what I will do now is duplicate it. One way to do it is to go to Edit, and then you go up to Copy, and then after you copy it, you paste it, which is the next selection. An easier way to do it is if you do Command C, which is the shortcut for copy. I hit the shortcut Command V to paste it. If you look over in the Layers palette, you can see now where there's a second layer. And when I use my Move tool, you can see where I have another layer. I can put it down in the front just like this. I'll hit my Erase tool, which is E, come in, and erase it out so I have a second piece of chocolate in the foreground. Say the client wants another piece of chocolate. One way to do it will be to hit Command V. As long as I keep hitting Command V, I can have as many pieces of chocolate as I want. You can see where I can just go through here and make more and more. It's not exactly what I want to do, so I'll go back a few steps and so I can get back to my second piece of chocolate. Now you'll notice that when I paste it or hit Command V, it pasted pretty much in the center of the image. If there's a reason you want it to be pasted directly on top of the original selection, what you would do was you would go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste in Place, and it would put it exactly on top of the original selection. Another way to duplicate an image is to go over to the Layers panel, and then you drag it down to this little icon, which looks like a bent piece of paper, to duplicate the layer. You can look where it said Layer 1 Copy, and if I use my Move tool, you can see where I have another layer. So now I have 3 pieces of chocolate. Let's look at another way to copy and paste. If we go back to the beginning, say the client liked the shot that I did for them earlier, but they want a piece of whipped cream on this main shot. So I've already made a selection here. I can go Command C, come to here, Command V, and paste it in. Or I can actually just take my Move tool, which is V, and drag it over to this shot. And now it's in this shot and it's still over in the other shot. Using the Move tool, I can slide it in to the front of this, and so it looks pretty similar to the shot that we just did. Now, if I want to line this up in a particular part, one way I could do it is if I go over and reduce the opacity of that image, I can see a little bit of the background through it. I can use the Move tool, move it to wherever I want, and when I'm happy with it, I go over and make the opacity 100% again. Now let's look at another option as far as copying and pasting. I have this shot, the client's happy with the topping, but they kind of like the inside of this cake. So they would like the inside of this cake put inside of this cake. One of the things that you can do is, like I mentioned earlier, if I select all of this, which is Command A, and then I use my Move tool, I can take the whole thing over. But it's gonna be hard for me to get it in that original slice of cake. So an easier way to do this, I'll take my lasso tool and I'll make a selection inside the cake of where I want the older piece of cake to go. Now I need to make sure that when I do this, that I have it on the layer that I want the image pasted into. So I'll click on the background layer. The top layer was the whipped cream. So now, if I go in and I copy this entire selection, I click over here, I go up to Edit, I go to Paste Special, Paste Into. You can see now where it's just inside the cake. It's not covering the entire image. I use my Move tool and I slide this piece of cake in, and so now you can see how the paste inside works. That looks pretty close, and if I always want to, I can adjust that. Now there's the other option up here as far as paste, which would be Paste Special. There's also the Paste Outside, which would basically, you would make a selection and it would paste it outside of that selection. One other paste option you have is the Paste Without Formatting. I'm going to move these out of the way and we'll pull these two files up. The Paste Without Formatting basically has to do with how you want Photoshop to handle text. If I double click on the T icon in the layers palette, it will select the text. I'll hit Command C, and then I'll come over here, double click on this. I will click on this type where I want to insert big green, and I do Command V. You can see where the typeface has come over. That's not necessarily what I want. I'll hit Command Z to back up. Now if I go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste Without Formatting, it will drop it in and use the font and size of the type it's being laid into versus the type, font, and size from the file that it came from. Couple little tricks there. Hopefully that helped. More to come.